To cover your mother's medical bills? You've been pouring your heart out on stage for 10 years. Your performance stunned the entire school. It even left your ex-girlfriend lost in thought. You used to be a world-renowned music legend, but after living off nothing but scraps, you realized against all odds, you'd actually transmigrated into the body of a high school student. As you tapped into his memories, you learned the original owner's name was Ye Feng. He spent 3 years of high school juggling classes by day and food delivery by night, all just to pay for his mother's life-saving treatment. He and his girlfriend Zhang Xiaoqi had promised to get into the same university, but today he got hit with a breakup text instead. Right now, you're on duty at the campus broadcasting station. Seeing that no one is around, you decide to test out the vocal range of this new body. You pick up a guitar from the side and start to gently strum. The moment your fingers touch the strings, every musical fiber in your being lights up. The melodic sound of the guitar fills the broadcast room. What you don't realize is that the microphone is still live. Your voice is being projected across the entire campus. Everyone in the school can hear you right now. Students in the classrooms are completely stunned. Wait, wasn't the broadcast supposed to be over by now? Who is that singing? They're actually pretty good. Meanwhile, your homeroom teacher, Mr. Kai, nods along to the melody. This kid's got real talent, he thinks. The rhythm is spot on and the emotion is so raw. His breath control is a little weak, though. He definitely needs to work on that. Back in the booth, you're really feeling it now. You just keep on singing. Students all over campus stop in their tracks, listening intently to the song. The lyrics telling a story of campus love perfectly capture the essence of their own lives, that bittersweet, stubborn, and unforgettable youth. Out on the soccer field, the students stand frozen in place. It feels as if this song was written just for them. They realize that while youth might be full of regrets, it would be nothing without friendship. Right then, Xiao Biazan was sweeping the hallway. When he heard the singing, he just burst into tears. He had been secretly in love with Zhang Xiaoqi for 3 years. But he never worked up the nerve to confess. He really didn't want to miss his chance. Teacher Kai raised an eyebrow. This song was incredibly high quality, and he had never heard it before. It had to be an original track. With that in mind, he walked out of the office, heading toward the broadcasting room to see what was going on. Meanwhile, you were still singing away. A lot of the girls in the classroom were already in tears. They all wanted to experience a love as deep and unforgettable as the one in the song. With high school graduation right around the corner, they felt like their youth was missing something. Over in the cafeteria, Zhang Xiaoqi and Liu Yao were eating lunch. They were both stunned when they heard the music. Zhang Xiaoqi said, looking thrilled, "This song is amazing, and it sounds like an original too. I had no idea someone this talented went to our school. Who's on duty at the broadcasting station today?" Liu Yao looked just as excited. She thought for a second and replied, "It's Wednesday, so it must be Wang Peng." Zhang Xiaoqi looked completely shocked. "What? It's actually him." Wang Peng was usually seen as a bit of a goofball, so none of the other students liked to hang out with him. You were the only one who treated him like a real friend. Zhang Shaoqi couldn't believe that Wang Peng was actually this talented. As the song ended, you realized your voice was actually pretty good, though it hadn't quite fully synchronized with this body yet. You'd need a bit more time to get used to it. That's when you noticed the microphone was still live. You thought to yourself, well, I'm screwed. You only wanted to lay low and take it easy in this world, but you'd already blown your cover the moment you arrived. You quickly cut the mic. Just then, the door to the broadcasting room swung open. It was Wang Peng coming back. Looking sheepish, he said, "Sorry about that, Feng, my bad. I just finished eating and took a quick nap, and ended up totally passing out. Wang Peng is your best buddy, even though he's a bit of a dimwit. He's incredibly loyal. You gave a helpless smile knowing he'd be fine on his own, so you weren't worried. I'll leave this to you, I'm heading out." With that, you headed straight back to the classroom. Not long after, Teacher Kai pushed open the door to the broadcasting room. When he saw it was Wang Peng, he looked completely surprised. This guy usually can barely put a sentence together. He didn't seem like the type who could sing, so he asked him suspiciously, "Wang Peng, are you the only one on duty this noon?" When Wang Peng heard that, he thought his cover for switching shifts was blown, but he would never sell out his brother. So trembling, he answered, "Yeah. Teacher K, it's just me here." Teacher Kai heard him and continued, "That song just now, was that you singing?" Wang Peng was completely baffled when he heard this. He shook his head and asked confused, "Song? What song? I didn't sing anything." Teacher Kai was even more confused after hearing that. Could this guy be hiding his talents on purpose? I need to find a chance to test him. Meanwhile, you had already returned to the classroom. A lot of students around were discussing the song they just heard. That song was amazing. I heard it was Wang Peng singing. I never thought he was so talented. He's good enough to be signed by an entertainment agency, Xiaobi-san said with a look of disdain. It's just all right, honestly. I could write a song like that in a minute. I don't even need a week. 3 days is plenty. Liu Yao asked with a curious look. For real? Then why don't you write one? Xiaobi-san patted his own face. He said smugly, take a guess why. A guy like me has a reputation to maintain. Liu Yao rolled her eyes instantly. I stopped paying him any mind after school. You rode your bike weaving through the streets and narrow alleys. Relying on your memory, you circled around for over half an hour, and finally found your way home. It was a run-down old apartment complex. Once you got inside, your little sister Ye Feng had already prepared dinner. She asked with a curious look on her face, "How come you're home so early? Don't you have food deliveries to make today?" You slapped your thigh in realization. You'd completely forgotten that the original owner of this body still had to work as a delivery driver. With your mother still in a coma at the hospital, how were you supposed to support the family if you didn't earn any money? Just thinking about it felt like a total disaster. Here you were, a world-class music superstar. Did you really travel through time just to deliver takeout? You patted your sister on the head, and with a dodding smile you said, "We're not doing deliveries anymore. Your big brother is going to make the big bucks and take you out for the best food in town." Your sister pouted slightly, and being incredibly sensible, she said, "I don't need fancy food. As long as Mom can wake up, and we can all be happy together, that's enough for me." You felt a sting in your nose as you listened. You had always wanted a younger sister in your past life, and you never expected to get your wish like this. You swore to yourself you'd take good care of her. You went back to your room and counted up the cash. There were only $2,000 in the entire house. It was honestly the worst possible start. You really needed to find a way to make some money fast. The next day, you signed up for the campus light music competition. The event was co-organized by the school and the Tianyu group. The first place prize was $100,000 in cash, which would at least solve your current financial troubles. Plus, it would be a great way to start building up some fame. That afternoon during PE class, you went to the equipment room to grab a basketball. Passing by the piano room, you heard someone playing. The melody was hauntingly beautiful and romantic. The notes felt like they were drifting through time and space, carrying a hazy, mysterious vibe. You had never heard this piece of music before in your life. As the final notes of the piano faded away, curiously you walked toward the sound, pushed open the door to the piano room, and found it completely empty. Just as you were starting to wonder, a female student stepped out from behind the piano. The moment she saw you, she froze. "Hey there, you said excuse me? Was that you playing just now?" She hesitated for a moment, not answering. Instead, she smiled and asked in return, "The song on the campus broadcast yesterday afternoon, that was you singing, wasn't it?" Your heart skipped a beat, but you kept your cool. "What makes you say that?" "The tone of your voice, the way you enunciate." And then she paused, before breaking into a bright, cheerful smile. "And my intuition. Nobody else should have known about that yet." But she guessed it just from the sound of your voice. Her level of perception really impressed you. You smiled and extended your hand. Hey, nice to meet you. My name's Ye Feng. Looking at your outstretched hand, she hesitated, stunned for a long moment, before she gingerly took your hand. Hi there. I'm Lin Xia. Outside the window, the sun was shining brightly. You stood there looking at each other, and both couldn't help but smile. Just then, Shelby barged in. Feng Hei, didn't you go to grab the basketball? What are you doing over here? You were just about to explain, but when you turned back, the girl was already gone. You were a bit distracted during PE class that afternoon. Wang Peng whispered to you, Hey Feng man, was that you singing in the broadcast room yesterday? So many girls are writing me love letters because of it. You gave an awkward laugh. My bad, man. Sorry to make you deal with all that. Wang Peng just chuckled. Deal with it. Are you kidding? I couldn't be happier. Just then, Zhang Xiaoqi and Liu Yao walked over. They looked at you with nothing but pure contempt. Zhang Xiaoqi looked toward Wang Peng and said, Hey Wang Peng, was it you who sang that song yesterday afternoon? Could you write a song for me too? Wang Peng smirked, one side of his mouth curling up. He replied with absolute firmness, No way. Hearing that, Liu Yao got a bit worked up. She acted all high and mighty, barking at Wang Peng. Wang Peng. Xiaoqi is going to be a star someday. Letting you write a song for her is giving you a golden opportunity. Why are you being so ungrateful? But no matter what she said, Wang Peng simply wouldn't budge. It made Liu Yao absolutely furious. Seeing this, Zhang Xiaoqi's cheeks turned slightly red. She looked at you shyly and said, Ye Feng, I know you're Wang Peng's best bro. If you get Wang Peng to write me a song, I'll allow you to keep on liking me. You almost passed out the moment you heard that. What kind of trashy, melodramatic mindset is that? You gave a cold reply, Sorry. I'm not interested. With that, you and Wang Peng just walked away. Liu Yao stood there stunned, looking at Xiaoqi with a bewildered face. Xiaoqi, how come Ye Feng feels like a completely different person? Zhang Xiaoqi scoffed and said with total disdain, He's just playing hard to get. He'll be begging for my attention in a couple of days. 2 days later, the campus singing competition officially began. The 3 judges took the stage first. They were Professor He and Professor Li from the school, along with Zhang Chao, the music director of Tianyu Group. As the host announced the competition rules, the contestants started taking the stage one by one. At this point, the live stream only had about 20,000 viewers. When the director Zhou Ping saw this, he frowned deeply. This singing contest really gets worse every single year. The main problem is there are no talented contestants. We can't keep anyone watching at all. Liu Yao saw you were also at the venue and mocked you, Ye Feng. Did I see that right? You actually had the guts to show up for the competition. Zhang Xiaoqi looked at you with a face full of surprise. Ye Feng, you're here to see me, right? As long as you get Wang Peng to write a song for me, I might just forgive you. You were left completely speechless after hearing that. You shook your head and told her, I'm really not interested. You should go ask someone else. Liu Yao looked completely offended when she heard that and started snapping at Ye Feng. With your tone-deaf singing, don't go scaring everyone. You're better off just sticking to delivering food. That suits you much better. You couldn't be bothered with them, so you found a quiet corner and sat down. As the show progressed, it was soon Zhang Xiaoqi's turn to take the stage. She skipped onto the stage and flashed a sweet smile at the audience. In an instant, many of the guys were completely captivated by her. As the music started playing, Zhang Xiaoqi danced confidently on stage, looking sweet and adorable. Her cute, soft, and melodic voice filled the air along with the music. Thunderous applause erupted from the audience, and the male students in particular were screaming for her. So Ye Feng, is this the type you like? A clear, pleasant voice sounded right beside your ear, making you jump in surprise. You turned your head and realized Lin Xia had sat down next to you at some point. You gave an awkward smile. That's all in the past. Lin Xia, what was the name of the piece you played that day? Lin Xia put a finger to her lips, gesturing for you to keep it a secret. The number of viewers in the live stream hit 50,000. The director Zhou Ping eyes lit up with excitement. He had finally found a dark horse. This year's singing competition was actually worth watching now. By now, the live stream chat was flooding with comments. Zhang Xiaoqi is just too pretty. It's like an angel descended to earth. This song sounds amazing. I'm officially a fan now. Zhang Xiaoqi just finished her performance on stage. The judge Zhang Chao was incredibly excited. He was the first to give a pass and said, Zhang Xiaoqi student, your singing is absolutely on par with a professional. You are totally ready to release a record right now. I wonder if you'd be interested in joining Tianyu Entertainment. Zhang Xiaoqi nodded repeatedly upon hearing this. Tianyu Group is the largest entertainment company in Zhangcheng. Being signed means becoming a real star. Professor He and Professor Li also gave their pass votes. They both gave her song incredibly high praise. Zhang Xiaoqi became the very first contestant to earn 3 pass votes. The applause from the audience was thunderous. The other contestants looked on with faces full of envy. Ye Feng, what song are you going to sing today? Lin Xia asked, looking at you with curiosity. You curled your lips into a smile. That's a secret. Lin Xia laughed after hearing that. She explained word for word. You really are petty, aren't you? The piece I just played is actually titled Secret. You had a sudden realization. Just then, the host announced your name. You walked quickly onto the stage. The audience below started whispering and gossiping. Isn't that the king of simps, Ye Feng? I heard he's completely tone-deaf. How does he even dare to participate in this competition? He probably just came to chase after Zhang Xiaoqi. I've never seen a simp sink this low. Teacher Kai frowned, his brows knit together. He looked at you with pure disdain, thinking you were the worst student he'd ever taught. Xiao Bishan, sitting beside Zhang Xiaoqi, mocked you, saying, Xiaoqi, did you know that Ye Feng actually followed you to the youth singing competition? This guy really is shameless. Zhang Xiaoqi scoffed coldly. She said with a haughty expression, if he wants to humiliate himself, then let him. I'm never going to forgive him. Back on stage, you walked straight to the piano and sat down slowly. The big screen displayed the song information. 10 years sung by Ye Feng. Lyrics and composition by Ye Feng. The students in the audience were all stunned. Ye Feng was actually going to sing an original song. 10 years. What kind of cheesy song is that? Is he really trying to win over Zhang Xiaoqi? The venue suddenly erupted in laughter. The homeroom teacher, Mr. Kai, also looked completely bewildered. Since when did this kid learn to play the piano? Is he just putting on a show? Ye Feng's voice was crisp and melodious as it echoed under the forest canopy. It rang out through the entire auditorium. Everyone followed the sound and looked over. They discovered it was actually an elegant and refined beauty. It instantly sparked a wave of jealousy among the boys. On stage, Ye Feng looked carefree as he waved at the forest. Then he gently placed his index finger on the piano. His fingertips glided nimbly across the keys. Every movement was precise without a single wasted motion. The melodious melody spread like a rising tide. The previously noisy and chaotic venue gradually fell silent. The students' eyes all focused on Zhang Xiaoqi. They were instantly dumbstruck. They couldn't believe you actually knew how to play the piano, and it even sounded quite professional. Throughout 3 years of high school, you were either delivering packages or food. Where would you even find the time to learn piano? On stage, as the prelude progressed, your singing voice slowly began to rise. It's nothing more than a breakup. The students in the audience were all shocked. How did the most unremarkable kid in class suddenly become so incredibly talented? They originally thought you were just here to make a fool of yourself. They never expected you to sing so beautifully. Those simple 4 lines of lyrics pushed the atmosphere of the venue to the absolute limit. Xiaoqi's heart skipped a beat. She instantly felt that something was off. Something was wrong. Why did this voice sound so familiar? By now, the homeroom teacher, Mr. Kai, had also sensed that something was strange. This voice? Why did it sound so much like the voice from the broadcast that day? Could it be that the one singing in the broadcast room that day was actually Ye Feng? The professor looked at you and gave a slight nod. Every single note you hit is incredibly precise. The emotion just builds and intensifies with every layer of the melody. This is something many professional musicians can't even pull off. Your fingers are dancing across those piano keys with such speed. The song is reaching its peak now. Lin Xia just stares blankly at the stage. Her eyes are starting to well up with tears. Countless memories come flooding back to her. She lowers her head looking so weak and helpless. Her figure slowly fades away into the crowd. Everyone in the room is completely lost in the music. This song is so immersive. The person who was by your side 10 years ago, where are they now? And 10 years later, who are you by the side of today? The 3 judges look absolutely stunned. Is this really a song written by a high school student? The quality of this track is already at a chart-topping level. By now, the livestream viewership has surged to 500,000. The director Zhou Ping can hardly believe his eyes. The ratings have completely broken all records. The chat in the live stream is absolutely blowing up. That vocal tone is just perfect. It's so good I've got goosebumps. This is what real music sounds like. I'm getting more hooked the more I listen. I'm actually crying listening to this. High schoolers these days are just on another level. On stage, your voice so magnetic with that slight rasp, it just keeps on going. Standing for others as well. As the song ends, a thunderous wave of applause erupts from the audience. It's deafening. It feels like the roof is about to blow off the building. Zhang Shaoqi is completely stunned. Is this really my little sidekick, Ye Feng? As the host steps on stage to take control, the venue finally begins to quiet down. All three judges have given their approval. Judge Zhang Chao asks excitedly, Ye Feng, my student, you wrote this song brilliantly. Are you interested in joining Tianyu Group? The students in the audience start, whispering amongst themselves, oh my god, Ye Feng is going to be a star. That is just insane, talk about lucky. And since he and Zhang Shaoqi are both at Tianyu Entertainment, looks like the neighborhood simp is finally moving up in the world. Xiaobi-san flew into a rage the second he heard that. The look he gave you was pure unfiltered hate. You hesitated for a moment. Honestly, the last thing you wanted was to end up at the same company as Zhang Shaoqi, so you gave a polite smile and said, thank you, Judge. I'm definitely interested. But I'd really like to finish my studies first. Zhang Chao completely froze when he heard that. He stared at you in utter disbelief. He couldn't wrap his head around the fact that someone would actually turn down a contract with Tianyu. The audience was just as confused. Had Ye Feng lost his mind? Passing up an opportunity like this? For a split second, the look in Zhang Chao's eyes shifted to something like fear, but he quickly masked it. He put on a friendly face and told you, of course. Your education should always be the top priority. In the end, you became the second contestant to move forward with a clean sweep. After you stepped off the stage, Lin Xiao was already gone. She really was a total mystery. She always just appeared out of nowhere and disappeared just as fast. Ye Feng, over here. I honestly had no idea you could sing like that. It was you singing in the broadcast room that day, wasn't it? Zhang Shaoqi walked over looking way too excited. She started acting all cutesy and whiny, saying to you, look, if you just apologize to me sincerely and write me a song, I'll consider forgiving you just this once. You couldn't help but laugh at how ridiculous she sounded. You honestly couldn't understand what the original Ye Feng ever saw in her. A surge of anger flared up inside you. You snapped at her, get lost. Liu Yang and Xiaobie-san were frozen in shock on the sidelines. Was this really Ye Feng? Back in the day when you were around Zhang Shaoqi, you wouldn't even dare to raise your voice, let alone talk back. That same night, the video of your performance went viral and hit the trending charts. It caused a massive stir all over the internet. A ton of netizens are literally begging you to drop a single. The next morning, the birds outside the window are chirping away non-stop. You get up and head over to register the copyrights for 2 of your songs. The copyright for Our Times goes through without a hitch. But then the copyright for 10 years gets rejected. The system says it's already been registered by someone else. You're completely stunned. Who the hell did this? This world is just too cutthroat. From now on, I've got to register everything way in advance. That afternoon, Wang Peng takes you to his uncle's recording studio. You record the instrumental track first, and then you belt out Our Times one more time. Everyone in the studio is absolutely floored. They say this song is guaranteed to be a massive hit. When you get back home, you upload the song to the Kumao music platform. But after waiting for over an hour, only a dozen people have even listened to it. You feel a wave of disappointment wash over you. Looks like a song really needs some promotion to take off. On Monday, your homeroom teacher, Old K, calls you into the office. As soon as you walk in, you realize Zhang Chao from the Tianyu group is there too. Ye Feng. I never imagined you were such a talented singer. Looks like our class is going to have 2 stars now. Seeing the setup, you instantly get what's going on. They're definitely still trying to push that Tianyu contract. You quickly reply, Mr. Kai, I'm still just a student. How could I possibly become a star? Mr. Kai pauses for a second, clearly frustrated. His tone suddenly turns sharp. Ye Feng, why are you so stubborn? Look at your grades. You're dead last in the whole class. What university is going to take you? Signing with Tianyu Group right now is the best opportunity you've got. You're starting to get pretty annoyed hearing this. What kind of teacher talks to a student like that? You fire back, Mr. Kai. I'm definitely going to university. Even if it means I have to repeat a year. Old Kai is so pissed he starts coughing uncontrollably, and he scolds you, you stubborn little mule. Such a golden opportunity is right in front of you. Why don't you know how to seize it? Seeing the tension in the air, Zhang Chao hurriedly stepped in to smooth things over. Ye Feng, classmate, why don't you just listen to our offer first? As long as you join Tianyu, the company will cover all of your mother's medical expenses, along with your younger sister's entire tuition. Plus, we can offer you an annual salary of 1 million. We'll sign a 30-year contract all at once, giving you total security. Seeing that you were still hesitating, Zhang Chao continued, your classmate Zhang Shaoqi has already signed with us. I heard that you two are a couple. It would be perfect to market you as a celebrity duo. These conditions for someone in your current position are honestly quite tempting. You frowned and asked, I'd like to ask, with so many benefits, what are the strings attached? Zhang Chao was stunned for a second. He didn't expect you to ask that. He forced a friendly smile and said, there aren't any special conditions. Just work at the company as usual and complete the basic performance assessments. This guy Zhang Chao is treating you like an absolute idiot. That so-called basic assessment is actually nearly impossible to finish. If you fail to meet it, you'll be stuck making minimum wage. A 30-year contract is basically locking your entire life away. This isn't a contract. It's a soul-selling deal. In the end, you turned him down without a second thought. Teacher Kai and Zhang Chao were both furious. As they were leaving, Zhang Chao threatened you Ye Feng. You'd better think it over. Without the protection of the Tianyu group, you won't even be able to take a single step in the entertainment industry. His tone was clearly threatening, but that only fueled your fighting spirit. You smirked and replied, you never know unless you try, right? Watching your stubborn and cold back as you walked away, Zhang Chao was so angry he smashed his teacup on the floor. Teacher Kai just shook her head in frustration. At noon, while you and Wang Peng were eating in the cafeteria, the campus beauty Liu Ruyan suddenly sat down across from you. Ye Feng, is it really you? You paused for a second, taken by surprise. You asked him with a puzzled look, Senior Ruyan, is there something you need? Liu Ruyan arched her delicate brows. She smiled and said, that song you sang 10 years. It sounded incredible. There are 10 people in total who made it through the youth singing competition. The next round is the grand finale. The rules require contestants to find their own partners. It has to be a male-female duet. Have you found someone to sing with yet? Liu Ruyan was assigned artist under Imperial Entertainment. She was incredibly popular around campus. If you could invite her to be your duet partner, your chances of winning the championship would skyrocket. You roughly guessed what she was getting at, so you decided to roll with it and said, not yet actually. Then Senior, would I have the honor of singing with you? Seeing that you were so savvy and knew how to play the game, she beamed and agreed. Wang Peng stood to the side looking green with envy. He grabbed your arm and said, Brother Feng, if you hit it big, don't forget your bros. After eating, you didn't head back to the classroom. Instead, you went around asking people which class Ling Xiao was in. But strangely, not a single person knew who that was. It was as if this person didn't even exist at the school. That thought left you completely baffled. During PE class in the afternoon, driven by curiosity, you snuck over to the piano room. Sure enough, someone was playing inside. You peeked through the window and saw it was indeed him. A light breeze blew through his hair. In that moment, you were absolutely stunned. His looks were every bit as good as the school beauties. As his fingertips danced across the keys, a melodic flowing tune began to fill the air. He cast his eyes downward as he sang softly. His voice was elegant and otherworldly. It was effortless. The song sounded like something from another realm. Even you were completely captivated. This little high school was truly full of surprises. To think it was hiding such a hidden gem of a singer. At this moment, his performance was still going on. Singing techniques can be learned, but that kind of artistic atmosphere, that is a pure gift. Linsha has incredible natural talent. You don't understand why he loves playing the piano here, and every single time, he's all by himself. As the song was nearing its end, you gently pushed the door open and walked in. Without even thinking, you started applauding. Your applause was full of genuine awe. The piano music came to an abrupt stop. Linsha gave a full-body jolt, hiding behind the piano like a little kitten. This dramatic reaction caught you off guard. You were stunned for a second, then hurriedly apologized. Linsha, I'm so sorry for startling you. I'm Ye Feng. Only after hearing your voice, did he slowly poke his head out, then walked over with a big grin. Ye Feng, it really is you. Why aren't you in class? What are you doing here? You scratched your head and laughed, saying it's PE class right now, and you just came over to try your luck. You didn't expect to actually find him here. Lin Xia was a bit surprised when he heard that, and asked with a happy expression on his face, so you came here specifically to look for me? Is there something you need? Being put on the spot like that, you suddenly felt yourself blushing. You didn't really have a specific reason after all, so you tried to act cool and asked, which class are you in? How come none of the other students seem to know you? Lin Xia didn't answer your question, but instead chased you down with a mischievous smirk. Ye Feng, don't try to change the subject. What exactly are you looking for me for? You really wanted this ground to just open up and swallow you whole. You a dignified king of music. We're actually getting teased by a little girl. Seeing you struggling, Lin Xia decided to let it go. It turns out he was a transfer student from last year and has been on leave due to poor health. That's why a lot of people in class don't even know who he is. His place is right near the school. So he sneaks in here all the time to practice the piano. You feel a huge weight lifted off your shoulders. You actually thought you were dealing with a ghost or something. In the end, you two exchanged contact info. You agreed to meet up and talk about music together. When you got home that night and opened your laptop, you saw that Little Lucky already had 3,000 views. 2,000 people downloaded the song on Cool Cat. It costs 1 yuan to download. The platform takes a 50% cut, which means you've already made 1,000 yuan. Still, this is way too slow. I need to use the youth song contest to promote the track. Just as you were deep in thought, you suddenly realized you were trending. Ye Feng has 0 class and screams at contestants. You clicked on the video and saw it was a screen recording from the youth song contest that day. It captured the moment you yelled "Get lost" at Zhang Xiaoqi. The clip was edited to remove the context, and now everyone thinks you're just some violent maniac. You knew right away this was Tianyu's revenge. Didn't expect them to move this fast. Before long, all your old dirt was dragged back into the light. A bunch of clickbait accounts started dragging your name through the mud. Overnight, your reputation went down the drain. While eating dinner, your little sister smiled at you and said, "Big brother, don't pay attention to what those people are saying. I'll always believe in you." Hearing that warmed your heart, but you also felt a pang of guilt. It sucks that your own mess is affecting your family. When it rains, it pours. Misfortune never comes alone. The next day, you got another call from Liu Ruyan Ye Feng. "I can't do the duet with you anymore. The company has other plans for me." "It's all right, I get it." You didn't blame her. You knew she was just weighing her options. It's business. But with only 2 days left until the competition, you've got to find a new partner fast. Otherwise, you'll be eliminated on the spot. You track down Lin Bingyun and Lin Bingshui from your class. They're both singing streamers. Their vocal skills are definitely top-notch, but they both refuse to sing with you. They claim their fans wouldn't allow it. Wang Peng is just as worried for you as you are. He reaches out to several girls who are great singers. But as soon as they hear it's a duet with you, they all turn him down. That's when you finally realize the severity of the situation. The entire internet is trashing you right now. Not a single soul dares to help. Everyone is terrified of getting dragged into the drama. That night, you and Wang Peng grabbed some street food and beers by the side of the road. This whole mess has left you feeling completely shattered. Wang Peng tries to comfort you. "Feng man, your singing is so good. If push comes to shove, why don't we just start our own stream together? I've seen how much these singing streamers make. The money is pretty good." You shake your head. You lift your glass and down the drink in one go. "If I go live now, I'll get torn to shreds by the comments. If all else fails, I'll just switch careers and write novels. I'll use a pen name and nobody will even know it's me." Wang Peng looks at you in total shock. He stares at you with pure admiration. "Feng bro, you are just too insane. I can't believe you can write novels too." You flash a grin. "That's nothing. I've got plenty more tricks up my sleeve. Once we graduate, we'll start our own company together. We're going to crush that Dayu group under our feet." Wang Peng is so hyped up after hearing that. He immediately gives you a thumbs up. Just then, your phone starts ringing. You look at the screen, it's Ling Xia. This is the first time she's ever called you. "Ye Feng, let's sing together. Let's sing together." Ling Xia's voice feels like a gentle summer breeze. It blows all your troubles away. You're so moved that tears actually start streaming down your face. The next day, Wang Peng takes the two of you to a recording studio to practice. Ling Xia has incredible musical talent. She only needs to look at the sheet music once before she can nail the vocals. In less than half a day, you've got it down. You two have developed such an incredible rhythm together. The grand finale of the Songbird competition started before we knew it. Because the previous episode was such a massive hit, the live venue was completely packed with fans. The moment the live stream went live, over 300,000 viewers flooded in instantly. The director Zhou Ping couldn't stop grinning from ear to ear. Following the host's introduction, the contestants made their way onto the stage one by one. You and Wang Peng arrived at the backstage area early and discovered that Zhang Xiaoqi's duet partner was actually the top-tier pop star Wu Fan. The other contestants were all completely stunned. Since the show relies on online voting, with Wu Fan's massive popularity, it's obvious the studio is dead set on making Zhang Xiaoqi the winner. Seeing you and Wang Peng together, Shobit Mocking asked with a sneer, "Hey Ye Feng, couldn't find a real partner, so you had to drag Wang Peng along to sing with you." You frowned, feeling annoyed. This guy is constantly trying to mess with you. This time you weren't going to let him off the hook. You stood up, pointed at Xiaobi, and laughed. "You pathetic little loser, constantly fawning over Zhang Xiaoqi. Why don't you go look in a mirror? Zhang Xiaoqi is about to become a star. Do you honestly think you still have a chance with her?" Everyone around you burst into laughter. Xiaobi was left speechless, his face turning bright red, looking like he'd been scalded. He scrambled away, looking completely humiliated. Just as Liu Yao was about to say something, Wang Peng pointed right at him and snapped, "You borrowed 10 bucks from me last time, and you still haven't paid me back. Are you trying to scam me or what?" Liu Yao was left speechless by that, and stammered, "I just forgot, okay? You didn't even remind me. Fine, I'll pay you back right now." Zhang Shaoqi glared at you with pure hatred and huffed, not saying a word. Wu Fan stood to the side mocking her, "Xiaoqi, just a couple of clowns, that's all. Don't pay them any mind." Just then, Lin Xia arrived on the scene. He looked over at Wang Peng. With a curious look on his face, he asked, "Who's this guy?" "He's Wang Peng. Have you forgotten?" You looked at him completely stunned. He froze for a second. Then with a flustered laugh, he said, "Of course I remember, I was just messing with you. Just kidding around." As the contestants took the stage one by one, it was soon Zhang Shaoqi's turn to perform. The moment she and Wu Fan stepped onto the stage, the crowd went absolutely wild. The other contestants could only sigh in resignation. The championship was clearly already in the bag. As the music kicked in, Zhang Shaoqi started singing, bouncing and dancing all over the place. Her cute and playful performance style had all the guys in the audience blushing. By this point, the live stream viewer count had already topped 1 million. It was the first time in the competition's history to hit 7 figures. The director was dancing with joy, but the professor furrowed his brows thinking, "What kind of nonsense is this? Has the whole world gone crazy?" As the song progressed, it reached the climax. It was truly brilliant. When the song ended, thunderous applause erupted from the audience. The atmosphere was just like a sold-out concert. The judge Zhang Chao jumped up in excitement. "The two of you are a match made in heaven." That was spectacular. When the host came on stage to announce the final votes, Zhang Shaoqi and Wu Fan had racked up 980,000 votes. They were ranked #1 in the whole competition. By now the chat was blowing up. "This sounds so good! This duet is legendary. They're such a perfect match. They're a golden couple." Just then, Liu Yao walked over and sneered, "Ye Feng, I think you'd better go back to delivering takeout. This stage is way out of your league." Seeing this, Wang Peng looked deeply worried. These two are just way too popular. The runner-up only has 260,000 votes. But these two have already skyrocketed to 980,000. It's a total landslide. They're in a league of their own. Seeing you stay silent, Lingxia puffed up her cheeks and muttered, "Hey, big sister. If you're craving takeout, 10 bucks isn't gonna cut it, you know." Yu Yao nearly blew a fuse the second she heard that. "Why are you so obsessed with that $10 bill? You're our final contestant." As the host made the introduction, Yu and Lin Xia walked quickly onto the stage. The crowd below immediately started buzzing. Ye Feng actually had the guts to show up. He's not even famous yet, and he's acting this arrogant. Someone cancel him already. Wait, who's that girl next to him? She's actually really pretty. Yeah, but she probably isn't any better than him. You gave Lin Xia a reassuring smile, signaling her to just ignore them. As the intro music started to play, the song info flashed up on the big screen. "Elope to the Moon," performed by Ye Feng. Lyrics and composition by Ye Feng and Lin Xia. Watching you and Lin Xia standing there on stage together, Zhang Shaoqi felt a sudden strange sense of loss. A look of irritation clouded her face. Beside her, Xiao Bisan started stirring the pot. "Ye Feng is such a total scumbag. It's only been a few days and he's already hooking up with someone else." Zhang Shaoqi just let out a cold huff and stayed silent. Meanwhile, in the back row of the audience, a middle-aged man kept his hat pulled low, watching in secret. It was Lin Xia's father, Lin Zhenghao. Seeing his daughter actually appearing on stage, he couldn't believe his own eyes. As the melody built up, you raised the mic and started to sing. Just 4 simple lines of lyrics, and the entire venue fell into a dead silence. The viewers in the live stream were completely blown away. "Who is that girl? Her voice is incredible. My heart is melting. This song is so sweet." Another original song, seriously. This guy Ye Feng, he might actually have some real talent. Teacher Kai stared at the stage completely stunned. "Isn't that Jia Lin? What's she doing up there singing?" Meanwhile, your performance was still in full swing. The crowd erupted into thunderous applause. Viewers waved their glow sticks, completely lost in the music. Zhang Shaoqi asked in surprise, "Who exactly is this Lin Xia? Is she from our school?" Liu Yao looked just as puzzled, shaking her head. She'd never heard of her either. Could she just be an actor Ye Feng hired? In the control room, director Zhang Chao couldn't believe his own eyes. The live stream viewership had already surged to 3 million. It was even higher than when Wu Fan was performing. To be honest, a lot of netizens had come specifically because of the gossip about you a few days ago. They were just here to watch the drama unfold. But they never expected the song you and Lin Xia performed to be this incredible. Most of them were instantly hooked. Up on stage, the performance continued. Professor, he was so moved he started clapping enthusiastically. This is what music is supposed to sound like. Zhang Chao shot him a glare. He muttered under his breath, "You old geezer, do you still want your paycheck or not?" As the song ended, the applause from the crowd was deafening. The sound was so intense it felt like it could shatter the ceiling. The host quickly hurried onto the stage, but the moment he saw the voting results, he froze. He looked toward Zhang Chao, his eyes filled with helplessness. Zhang Chao instantly understood what was happening, but it was too late to rig the votes now. The audience was still chanting your name at the top of their lungs. He had no choice but to give a silent nod. Finally, the host announced that you had received 1,980,000 votes. That was a full 1 million more than Wu Fan and Zhang Shaoqi. The crowd exploded into cheers all over again. The live chat was going absolutely wild, guys. This song just feels so amazing to listen to. It cures all your blues. 10 years is such a good song too. I've had it on repeat constantly. I mean, Ye Feng might be a bit cocky, but he's definitely got the talent to back it up. The tide of public opinion online has completely shifted. All those haters from before have turned into his biggest fans. Zhang Shaoqi and Liu Yao's eyes went wide. They couldn't believe it. Is this really the same pathetic simp Ye Feng? How could he possibly be this popular? Lin Zhenghao watched that dazzling figure on stage. A smile he couldn't hide spread across Lin Xiang's face. His eyes were filled with pure, doting affection. In the end, you took home the championship without a shadow of a doubt. And you scored $100,000 in prize money. At 10 o'clock that night, you invited Lin Xia and Wang Peng out for a late-night snack. Lin Xia was staring at her phone, looking a bit hesitant. But Wang Peng couldn't wait, blurting out, "Senior, don't overthink it. I know a place nearby that is absolutely incredible." Lin Xia pointed at Wang Peng and said in a shocked, soft whisper, I think I can see now." You and Wang Peng were both left a bit confused by her reaction. You can see from this far away. Eventually, the whole group made it to the hot pot restaurant. They had a blast digging into the hot pot together. The news of your big win instantly blew up on the trending charts. Both 10 years and eloping to the moon have officially gone viral everywhere. Wu Fan was sitting in his luxury van scrolling through his phone. Seeing you take the crown made him absolutely furious. He shoved the beautiful woman in his arms away. With a cold sneer he cursed, "I'll deal with you sooner or later." Wang Tong has an incredible appetite. Watching him put away plate after plate of beef, you couldn't help but feel a little worried. Thank goodness you won that prize money today. Otherwise, you seriously wouldn't have been able to cover the bill. After dinner, you walked Lin Xia home. As you walked down the quiet, peaceful street, you said with genuine gratitude, "Thanks for everything today. I'm splitting the prize money with you. I'll transfer it to you in a bit." She just laughed and said, "No way, I don't want it. Let's just call it even." You looked at him completely confused and asked, "What do you mean we're even?" He gave you a meaningful smile and said, "You've already done so much for me." Just then you arrived at Lin Xia's front door. It was a massive, luxurious villa. You were secretly stunned. You had no idea his family background was this wealthy. Once you got home, you uploaded Elope to the Moon to the Kumao platform. Thanks to the surging popularity, Little Luck had already hit 100,000 downloads. The numbers were growing incredibly fast. The next morning, your little sister was over the moon when she heard you'd won the championship. You took her to the hospital to visit your mother. The hospital told you that as long as you could scrape together 1 million in medical fees, your mother would be able to wake up. You pulled out your phone and checked the Kumao app. The download count for Elope to the Moon had already reached 800,000. Little Luck was at 600,000 too. At this rate, you'd have enough for the medical bills in no time. For the next few days, you didn't see Lin Xia anywhere. You sent him messages, but he didn't reply to a single one. You recorded a few more songs, and after uploading them to Kumao, they all became massive hits. You had completely solved your financial problems. Plenty of celebrities started reaching out to request songs from you, and many talent agencies wanted to sign you. But you were set on starting your own company. After the college entrance exams were over, you sent Wang Peng to get the company registered and handle the office renovation. You went to Lin Xia's front door yourself and rang the bell. The moment Lin Zhenghao saw you, he knew exactly why you had come. He pulled out a letter and handed it to you, thanking you for looking out for Lin Xia. You were a little caught off guard by his words, so you quickly tore open the letter. Inside, written in elegant handwriting, it read, Ye Feng. I want to tell you a story. Back when I was in elementary school, I was constantly bullied by my classmates. They would rip up my workbooks and draw all over my clothes. Back then, my father was always swamped with work. He never had a single moment to look after me. Going to school was the thing I dreaded most in the world. Then a little boy joined our class. He was like a ray of sunshine that suddenly broke into my life. He would stand right in front of me to protect me. We became the absolute best of friends. We studied together, painted together, went to the river to catch fish together, and played hide and seek in the woods. Those were the happiest days of my entire life. I wanted it to last forever. But then his family moved away. I never saw him again. And just like that, my life lost all its color. My classmates went right back to bullying me. I tried to fight them off just like he used to do. But I was no match for them. Slowly, I just stopped fighting and hung my head. I stopped talking altogether. I longed to see that little boy again. But I couldn't find him. You see, I couldn't even see people's faces anymore. Everyone's face was just a giant question mark. The doctor said it was depression. No matter how hard I tried, everything was just a blur. I felt completely hopeless. Even if he were standing right in front of me, I wouldn't even be able to recognize him. My father took me to see countless doctors, but nothing worked. Every single person's face was still just a question mark. I couldn't remember what anyone looked like, and I couldn't bring myself to make any friends. That is until that day in the piano room. I had just finished playing a piece. Suddenly, a boy rushed inside. I was so scared that I hid behind the piano, but then I realized something. There was no question mark on his face. I could actually see his face clearly. I gathered all my courage and stepped out. In that moment, I just froze, even though so much time had passed. But I recognized him at a single glance. He was that little boy. His name is Ye Feng. You were completely stunned after reading the letter. On the way back, you were utterly heartbroken and lost in your thoughts. Can you even imagine how much pressure Lin Xia endured, standing on that stage, just to help you out? When you got home, your younger sister asked you what was wrong. You hugged her tight and just started crying. 3 days later, Wang Peng took you and Ye Qing to the new company. Seeing the words Maple Leaf Media hanging on the wall, all three of you were filled with excitement. Classmate Ye Feng, congratulations. Hearing that familiar voice, you couldn't help but break into a smile. You walked over quickly, reached out your right hand and said, Senior, welcome to Maple Leaf Media. He was taken aback for a second, then asked with a look of surprise, when did I ever agree to join your company? You chuckled and replied, half of the earnings from the song should have gone to you, but I invested all the money into the company instead, so you're a shareholder now. Lin Xia grabbed your hand firmly and said with a grin, all right then, let's have a great partnership. After Lin Xia and Ye Qing were introduced, the two of them quickly became good friends. The four of you walked into the office. The interior decoration was very luxurious. You told Wang Peng to start by recruiting some influencers for live streaming. If there are any promising talents, the company will help them produce custom songs and release albums. That night as you were taking Lin Xia home, you couldn't help but exclaim, Dragon Country really is amazing. I honestly didn't expect you to recover so quickly. Lin Xia retorted upon hearing this, the doctors in Dragon Country aren't that good after all. I haven't recovered yet. They said there's only one cure for my condition. You panicked a little when you heard that, and hurriedly asked, what kind of medicine is it? Lin Xia blushed, smiled, and said, the doctor said, you are my medicine. You let out an awkward laugh. You pull Lin Xia into a hug, whispering, don't be afraid. No one will ever bully you again. She nods obediently in your arms. A week later, every department in the company is now fully staffed. We've signed 8 influencers so far. Everything is moving in a good direction. Wang Peng rushes over, looking anxious, and shows you his phone. Fenge. Zhang Xiaoqi just posted a statement claiming that your song 10 Years is plagiarized. And she even provided a copyright certificate. You take the phone and take a look. It was bound to happen, but you aren't the least bit rattled. You replied directly from your own social media account. I've been waiting for you for a long time. You claim that you wrote 10 years. Then let me ask you a question. What are the first two characters of the song's opening line? Zhang Xiaoqi is completely stunned when she sees your comment. What exactly are those two characters? Why is Ye Feng turning songwriting into a riddle? Because you hadn't uploaded 10 years to the Cool Cat music platform yet? There is no copyright infringement from a legal standpoint. However, Tianyu Media has hired a massive army of trolls to smear your name. Your reputation online collapses overnight. Things are even getting precarious for your company. Every time your influencers go live, the stream is flooded with haters. Just as you're debating whether or not to strike back, you get a call from Zhou Ping, the director of the youth singing competition. Because of your incredible performance in the competition, he invites you to join I Am a Singer as a challenger. You don't even have to think about it. You agree right away. Because Tianyu Media's top star Wu Fan is also appearing on the show during this season. If you can defeat Wu Fan head-on, then all those rumors will fall apart on their own. That night as you're driving Lin Xia home, she notices you've got a lot on your mind. She gives you a playful look and says, Ye Feng, don't be afraid. If you lose, I'll take care of you. You are momentarily stunned. You froze for a second. Frowning slightly, you complain that the rice is too soft and sticks to your teeth. I've always preferred mine a bit firmer. Lin Xia pouts, smiles, and says, that's not my problem. After all, you're my medicine. I have to take care of you. You shake your head helplessly with a soft chuckle. Soon the recording for I Am a Singer begins. The show is being broadcast live from start to finish. You and Wang Peng arrive at the backstage area early. You can't help but roll your eyes at their wide-eyed, judgmental stares. They sneer how arrogant. You two country bumpkins? Could you at least change into some decent clothes before showing your faces? The other contestants overhear this and can't help but burst into laughter. Wang Peng is just about to step up and argue. You grab him by the arm and pull him over to a corner to sit down. Wang Peng looks at you confused and asks, Brother Feng, why are we letting them walk all over us? You just smile. Calmly you reply, right now we're nobodies. No matter how much you talk, it won't change what they think. Don't waste your breath on people like that. We'll just let our performance do the talking. Wang Peng nods, only half understanding what you mean. As contestant after contestant takes the stage, it's soon Wu Fan's turn. He walks onto the stage with total confidence. The song he performs is incredibly explosive. It's a track he paid a fortune to have tailor-made by a master composer. As the music builds up, he grips the mic and belts out his performance on stage. I'm the king of the stage, watch me shine. The energy in the venue is absolutely off the charts. The female fans in particular are going completely wild. As the song ends, thunderous applause fills the arena. At this point, the number of viewers in the live stream has already surpassed 10 million. It has completely shattered last year's record. The director Zhou Ping is watching absolutely ecstatic. He invited you here today, specifically for the drama and the buzz. Because of the showdown between you and Wu Fan, sure enough, tons of netizens have flooded in just to watch the chaos. As the host steps onto the stage to announce the results, it's revealed that Wu Fan has secured 8,690,000 votes, taking first place. Which means, if you want to pull off a successful upset, you have a lot of work to do. You absolutely have to surpass 5 million votes. Wang Peng was completely stunned when he saw that. There are only 10 million people in total. How could there possibly be this many votes? As the host calls out your name, you slowly walk onto the stage. Boos and jeers erupt from the crowd. Some of the more aggressive audience members even start yelling, plagiarist! Get out of the music industry. Lin Xia and Ye Qin are sitting in the audience looking incredibly worried. Because at this very moment, the number of viewers in the live stream has already dropped to 8 million. Which means, even if every single person watching right now voted for you, you still couldn't win. Many viewers felt the outcome was already set in stone, so they just left in a hurry. The number of people in the stream is still falling. However, you on stage don't know any of this. You walk over to the piano and slowly sit down. Your gaze is steady, and your expression is calm. Zhang Xiaoqi sees this and is secretly startled. Last time you sang 10 years, you had that exact same look. He has a bad feeling about this. As your fingers dance across the piano keys, a melodic flowing tune slowly begins to play. It carries a hint of warmth amidst the sorrow. The song information appears on the big screen. Dandelion's Promise. Original singer Ye Feng. Lyrics and composition Ye Feng. The audience at the venue instantly falls silent. This melody is just too beautiful. Seeing that it's another original new song, quite a few viewers start to get curious as well. As the prelude progresses, your voice begins to drift out soft and clear.